Hello everyone, my name is Peter Malinowski. I'm reader in Cognitive Neuroscience at the School of Psychology here at LJMU. My research is focused on meditation and mindfulness practice, what's happening in the brain and what's happening in our cognitive and emotional processes when we meditate and as a result of meditation practice. And I'm also a mindfulness and meditation trainer and have introduced many people to meditation and mindfulness practice. And what I would like to do today is to introduce you to a simple form of mindfulness meditation. I would say simple, not always easy, but conceptually it is very simple. It's called mindful breath awareness meditation. It is a meditation practice where we use the sensation of our breath as the object, as the anchor or reference point. I usually call this meditation mindful breath awareness meditation because we use the breath as the main focus, or that one can also say the anchor of our meditation practice. So it's not about manipulating the breath, it's not about changing the breath, it's not about analyzing the breath. The breath is merely our focus, so that actually when we meditate we get a sense whether our attention is actually at the place where we want it to be. And for this it's quite useful to decide for a certain object, for a certain place we want to focus on. And there are many reasons why the breath is quite useful in this, but I'm not going to go into all the details right now. With our research we found that actually just doing this kind of meditation for 5 to 10 minutes a day for a few weeks will certainly have effects on our experience, and in many of our participants actually after a few weeks of such meditation practice we started seeing changes in their brain activity in the way we expected. So although it is not a lot of exercise, it's not a lot of practice, we are pretty sure that it is quite useful if we do it with a certain degree of regularity. In some sense, meditation practice is similar to physical exercise, but here of course it's mental exercise. Yeah, so it is about doing it regularly. It's better to do a bit every day or almost every day than trying to do a lot in one day. Yeah, then it is about building up the stamina, building up the mental resilience through the meditation practice. And the aim is not so much that we feel particularly well or that we feel particularly relaxed while we meditate, but the aim is, as I said before, that we strengthen our mind so that when we are faced with difficulties, that we are able to respond to it in a more appropriate, in a more relaxed, in a more balanced, in a more flexible way. Yes? And to do so, we need, well, first of all, the conviction that we want to make a start. You know, if we can see that being more focused, being more flexible, being more relaxed in our experience might be an advantage, then actually it might make sense to engage with the meditation practice. If we are only looking for a moment of relaxation, probably there's something more attractive than meditation practice. So with meditation practice we are aiming for a much deeper level of relaxation than maybe a massage or something like this could give us. Yeah, it's also good, but it is something else, of course. Yeah? So we first of all we need a kind of idea why we are doing it. We need a certain degree of conviction or motivation or intention to engage with the practice, and then the mindfulness meditation practice itself. It is about mainly 2 points we have to consider. The first one is attention and how we regulate our attention. Yeah? And attention, some people say concentration, but within psychological science that we think the term attention is more precise, it's more precisely defined, but for in general use there's not such a big difference, I would say. Yeah? So attention or concentration, and in the meditation I'm going to introduce in a moment, the attention would be resting on the sensation of breathing. Yes, so the attention to the breath or to the sensation of the breath would be the first point, and then regulating this attention is a part of it. Yeah? On the one hand, keeping it on the object, the sensation of the breath in this case, and in addition to this, then also to recognize when our attention has wandered off. And this is going to happen, and that's not a drama actually, but it is good to recognize it. And then, as soon as we can, to just let go of whatever our mind has engaged with. So this is then not about finding out why we were distracted, or what it is a big drama that we were distracted or something like this, but it's in a very dispassionate, cool way just to recognize, oh, I was distracted, and let go of whatever the distraction was, and then return again to the object, to the sensation of the breath. And here maybe it's good to already rule out one important misunderstanding. Mindfulness meditation does not mean that we stop thinking. So it is not about emptying the mind, it's not about a blank mind or something like this, but it is about a concentrated or an attentive mind. That's the point. And every functioning mind will produce thoughts, images, ideas, memories, and so on. This is what minds do, fortunately. Yeah, this is not the problem. The exercise is about how we relate to what our mind produces. I often say how we relate to what our mind offers to us. Yes, and this is where the practice then really starts happening. Yes, so it is first of all about paying attention to the breath, and then when experiences arise, thoughts, feelings, ideas, whatever it might be, different bodily sensations, whatever might arise, and something will arise sooner or later, then it is just about recognizing it and letting go of it without further elaboration. And this is the second important part. Yeah, and we often refer to it as an accepting, non-judging, open, curious attitude. So that we try to maintain this non-judging attitude in relation to every experience that arises. Whether it is nice, whether it is not nice, whether it is pleasant, whether it is unpleasant, whether it is outrageous, maybe some ideas from what has happened throughout the day or so arises in our mind. Yeah, whatever it is, the practice is about not judging, not engaging with whatever appears, but to return to the object, to the sensation of the breath in the meditation we're going to do now. So, in one way, very simple. We only have to take care of these two aspects: regulating our attention and keeping an open, non-judging attitude. Now, this is a meditation practice. Yeah? So in the same way as probably we wouldn't run through the city center with dumbbells in our hands, it's not about applying this all the time in our daily life. It is actually about an exercise so that it becomes more and more natural to be in such a state. Right? So that, for instance, in our daily life, we gain the freedom, this space in our mind to see what happens. Maybe also that, for instance, where it gets particularly interesting or dramatic also, that we experience something unpleasant, outrageous, or something that really catches us, catches our emotions, or makes our emotions bubble over, that something like this appears in our mind. And through the meditation practice, then we have the freedom to engage with it if we think this is needed. No, I really have to go for it. But then it's our choice, it's not automatic. Or if we say, actually, when I'm in this state, when I'm so overwhelmed by my emotions, usually I don't make the wisest decisions. Usually I'm not saying the things I would like to say if I'm a bit more relaxed. So maybe at this point I just don't engage with it. And then once my mind has calmed a bit, maybe the situation has calmed a little bit, then when I have a bit more stability again, a bit wider view of the situation, then I will engage with it. Yeah? So, and the meditation practice here helps us because we practice again and again to see that our mind is engaged with something and to step back from this, and stay with an object. And this ability to recognize our mind is doing something, often a quite automatic response, to recognize this, and the ability to let go, to make an inner step back, and then to have more choice, more freedom, more flexibility to engage with it in the way we want. So I talked a lot about what meditation practice is, how mindfulness meditation works, but let's really start with a short mindfulness meditation.